Okay, I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna turn this light on. Get some light in here. Let me turn this big light on. Get some light in here. Okay. So, in the spirit, in the world, in heaven, and hell, I'm gonna share something with you. Besides, a lot of people accuse me pretty much the devil about being mentally ill. And I'm going to discuss other people that, they call mentally ill, and other sex offenders and bisexuals. Okay. What they say about me now, nobody else in my family is being mentioned in my fucking life as a child. There's no other family members, cousins, sisters, brothers, as children when I was younger as a child. Okay? No one is discussing how I lost my teeth, my belief in God, what's happening with the Mexican border, the cartel, Iran, Iraq, ISIS. No one is discussing in my life anything other that I'm mentally ill and I need to be locked up before I do a hideous crime or some shit or hurt somebody or hurt myself. Okay. There's 3 males that I was close to when I was a child. One of them's dead. That's Robert James Smith. Okay? He was a white kid. He's dead. He died at 18. Let me explain. My aunt and uncle were living in poverty. I spent a lot of time with him in the black community. Around here. Most of the time his mom and dad was not around. I spent a lot of time as a child and a teenager with this individual, which is supposed to be my cousin, which is dead. He's buried in Fort Custer National Cemetery. Anytime it comes to me, they're like, you're mentally ill, take medication, or we're locking you up and we're going to kill you or something. But they don't ever ask about Robert James Smith, Bob, Charlie Smith, and Holly Smith Daniels. They don't ever ask about Joshua Chantrain and Aaron Chantrain, 2 other cousins that were my age when I was younger. They never discuss about what happened as young children and young teenagers, young adults, that I spent a lot of time with them 3 individual male family cousins. Nobody is discussing that. I have 2 sisters that I grew up with. Okay? When I was a child, my parents would go to the bar and leave my oldest sister in charge of her younger sister, which is my oldest sister. And she would abuse me until I fell on the floor with a bloody nose and bloody lips and pissed myself, crying. Okay? My sister would fucking beat me. She would fucking abuse me. Okay? There's a lot of history in my family, ancestry, especially on my mom's side, a little bit on my dad's side too, of abuse. My grandmother left my grandfather. He's still alive. She's dead. You want to know how she died? She left him for some bum. Downtown Battle Creek, you know what he did? He went in, she left him. She was a bartender. He walked in and said, the dude was a Mexican. He said, if I can't have you, nobody can, and shot her. She fell down, ambulance came, got her, took her up to the hospital. My dad and my aunt had to watch her die from a gunshot wound, like 2 in the stomach. Now, I visit her grave at the cemetery. She's in quite a bit. Okay? There's a lot of physical and sexual abuse within the family as the younger generation of children of our family on my mom's side. On my dad's side, there was not really well, with my aunt and uncle, my aunt was abuse, substance and physical, and my uncle was with adopted kids and their problems with their sexuality and their financial stability. And, you know, one of my adopted cousins, is in prison forever because she killed another woman. Because the reason she killed, it was her rival love enemy. She killed the other girl because the other girl was trying to steal another man from her, which the reason why she killed that girl is because the man the murder was over was a hoe. He had like 50 other women that he was sexually active with. She's in prison in Omaha, Nebraska forever. She'll die in prison. But concerning me and Joshua Chantrain, Aaron Chantrain, they're still alive and doing well, I guess. Mesa, Arizona, up the street. But Robert James Smith is dead. He was a crack baby. He was doing crystal meth and crack and shit. How he died? He was a little bitch of the plug. The plug was making strippers from Corpus Christi, Texas, making them strippers have sex with him. He had small man syndrome. Okay? His mom is dead. My uncle, which bullied the fuck out of that boy, is dead. He died from substance abuse, overdose. My uncle, his actual dad, not only bullied him, but fucking abused the fuck out of that boy. Okay? And them three dudes, Josh and Aaron and Rob, I was around every fucking day as a child. Nobody talks about that shit now. But guess who? And other people in this neighborhood, they made their mistakes. Okay? Understand.
It was literally just a process error. This was not against them in any particular way.
The thing is, growing up, there's fucking abuse in the family, in the fucking neighborhood, there's all kinds of abuse, sexual abuse, physical, spiritual abuse. I was just like a watcher, but I was a victim at the same fucking time. I almost had to register as a fucking sex offender. I did. I'm not a sex offender. The police know who the fuck I am. I almost had, the charges got dropped because her parents didn't show the fuck up at court. They were subpoenaed to go to court. They didn't show up. The judge and the fucking lawyer said, go home, don't worry about it. But let me tell you about the fucking, the charges. Okay, when you gotta register as a sex offender, the crime is supposed to be physical force on the person. It's supposed to be physical forcement abuse. It's not something you said or did. It's supposed to be when you're registered as a sex offender, you actually gotta put your hands on them and force them to do shit sexual. That ain't what happened with me. That's why her parents didn't show up. That's why I didn't have to get charged with the crime, because I did not fucking touch her. And there's other people around that saw what she did. Okay? But, and like I said, when I was younger, between my cousins and my sister, my other female cousins, there was not only sexual abuse, but there's physical and spiritual abuse too. And then with the older generation, as us being children, and our parents and my aunts and uncles and shit, and the shit they were fucking doing. Okay? My parents, my aunts, my uncles, the adult neighbors, their kids, my aunts and uncles' kids. There's a lot of people involved in this situation, and they're putting me on the fucking front line and expect me to fucking speak on their behalf. There's nobody saying shit about this. But my cousin Robert James Smith, Joshua Chantrain, and Aaron Chantrain, along with Bob, Holly, and Charlie Smith, along with Mary and Oscar Chantrain.